Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Watch out. The Bitcoin floodgates is about to crack wide open as 350 billion euros is about to enter the market. That's right, 350 billion euros. Let that sink in for a little bit. So today I'm going to talk about what this means for Bitcoin, what this means for Germany, and what this means overall for the entire crypto market. Let's discuss. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and maybe OnlyFans. All right, guys, let's do this. Oh, I forgot, CryptosRUs.com too. So, thanks for tuning in. Let's do this. Today's a good announcement day. In terms of price, we're kind of still stuck there where we are. All right, let's look at the chart. We're stuck at 33,200, so slightly lower, down 2% from yesterday. But overall, Bitcoin's kind of stagnant right now, right? And I can't help notice what we're seeing right now in the 1 hour is following this Wyckoff accumulation almost to the T. And the reason why I say that is because it's following it pretty closely. So the low point is what's labeled spring over here. And with spring, that was the 28 that we had recently. All right, so that was down here. Then Wyckoff, according to this accumulation, it's supposed to rally up a little bit and then retest a previous low. Well, guess what? That also happened. So we had a pretty good up, and then we retested a previous low of 30,000. Although that 30,000 was higher than the 28,000, but this was obviously a point that we had many times. You could see 1, 2, 3, right? 30,000. Now, afterwards, you're supposed to have another little rally, which we did yesterday, up to 36,000. And then it's supposed to come down again to one of the previous lows, but it's still a little bit higher than before. And you know what? Guess where we are now? We're at 32 or 33,000, right? And this was a previous low right here. You could see that 33,000 is actually another support level. So, normally I don't put any weight into things like this, but I mean, on the 1 hour, it looks pretty darn close in terms of following these up and downs. But you know what? The next stage on the Wyckoff is to go up pretty significantly. So this could push us pretty upwards if this is true. Again, if we're looking at the LPS now, so we're going from spring to test to another bottom and then now to LPS, and the LPS could then push us possibly to 41 as a new base if this is true. I'm just pointing that out there. It's just really it's a coincidence or something. But it's happening. But we'll see. We're going into, we're still about halfway through this week. We still have tomorrow. We still have this weekend, right? So let's see what happens. But Bitcoin has been stuck between this 41 and 31K for quite some time. And it's bound to get out eventually. Maybe we continue to stay in here for a little bit. Maybe another week or 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But eventually, Bitcoin will get ready and move higher, and that's because there's just so much money that's waiting to come in. It's go break open the floodgates. I've been talking about the billions upon billions upon billions that is ready to enter. Remember, yesterday I talked about Cohen and his new fund, and his new fund is going to bring billions into it, and also banks, 650 banks. Now allow citizens to go walk right into the teller and buy Bitcoin. That's going to bring billions. And this is going to bring even more. Billions upon billions. And I'm talking about Germany. Starting from today, all right, July 1st, there's a new law that got enacted that allows these special investment funds to invest up to 20% of their capital into cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. This was previously disallowed. These special funds could not. And these special funds control, get ready, $1.83 trillion. They have, no, I'm used to saying dollars, euros, 1.83 trillion euros in management. And now up to 20% of that could flow into Bitcoin, which comes out to be 350 billion euros. This is a lot of money, guys, a lot of money. So another example of billions upon billions that's ready to enter the market. Right now, it may not seem like it. I know some of you guys are looking at Bitcoin's price and you're like, well, if this is so positive, why isn't it not rallying right now, right? These guys are masters of what they do, okay? Just because they have 350 billion euros that they could use to buy Bitcoin, they're not just all go jump in at once and cause it to pump up to 300,000 overnight, all right? This is not their game. These guys are in it to make as much money as possible by accumulating as much as possible, right? Down low, buying low and selling high, right? So you just got to be patient. They will enter the game, and we need to basically follow what these big boys are doing. Accumulate when things are cheap, and you hodl, and that's really the game. Dollar cost average when things are low, and then you hodl, and you wait for life-changing wealth because these big boys are not going to go away anytime soon. The bigger macro picture that I like to focus on, the fundamentals of Bitcoin, keeps getting better each and every day. Each and every day. These are the stories that we wish happened in 2017. None of the stuff that I've been talking about for the last 6 months happened in 2017. It was just all a dream. The big thing that we had to look forward to in 2017 was Bakkt coming out with their payment app and futures. That was the big thing we were looking forward to in 2017. Now just take a second and think about what has transpired over the last 6 months. How bullish it is. Everything that we dreamt of and things that we didn't even dream of is coming true. Okay, so I'm here to say be patient. Be patient. Look at Bitcoin as a long-term investment. Right now, we're building out the foundation. Like Michael likes to say, buying Bitcoin is like buying a piece of property or land in Manhattan before it was Manhattan, right? It takes time to build on top of it, right? Rome was not created in a single day. It takes time to build, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the infrastructure built right in front of our eyes, and once this is done, everyone is going to want a piece, okay? So there is so much going on behind the scenes. This is all really, really fantastic. If you can live through the volatility, which I'm deeming the price of admission, right? If you could get through it, man, you're going to be much, much better off. And you're going to attain that life-changing wealth you're looking for. So this is very positive. Also, what else is very positive? Look at this. Softbank invests $200 million in Brazil's biggest Bitcoin exchange, Mercado Bitcoin. This is a big investment. Again, why are they doing this? Because Latin America craves Bitcoin and crypto right now. We know this is a big thing. When you have a lot of countries in poverty, a lot of citizens that are unbanked, and you have financial instability because the fiat in many of those countries have just collapsed. Of course, Bitcoin and crypto is what everyone is looking at. That's why you have countries that's looking to fully embrace and adopt it. You have other countries that's fully embraced in investing in projects. And now you have, exchanges that are getting huge investments. $200 million investment. That's no chump change. That's a big thing, right? And we know Brazil is one of the countries that is warming up to Bitcoin in a big way too. Also, very, very positive. So yeah, I mean, there's good news. There's good news all around. You just have to pay attention. Now, what's not good news is Elon is back to his games, and he tried and failed miserably at pumping Dogecoin this morning. So he released this tweet. Obviously, of the Godfather, but people referred to Elon as the Doge father. And then I think he didn't realize, because he started, tweeting this baby Doge do. It's like a play on that shark video that all of you parents know about on YouTube, right? But I don't think he realized that baby Doge is a crypto, right? So when he tweeted this, guess what happened? Baby Dogecoin pumped up 228%. I think he was still trying to pump up Doge and mistakenly brought up another coin that he wasn't aware of. So rather than pump Doge, he accidentally pumped up baby Dogecoin. So that's still ongoing. Yes. Okay. What else is there? What's other good news? Animoca Brands. I love this. I love this company. Just huge in NFTs. They get an extra $50 million from Coinbase. Coinbase, we know, they're not really into NFTs, but they want to build out that app marketplace, right? Maybe this is a way to get Animoca to create all these great, NFT dApps and get them into Coinbase's app store. This could be one of the reasons, and from Samsung. So this is a pretty significant funding from both of these companies. Of course, Animoca has a lot. Rev, Limbo, Sandbox, Gamey, Quid. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They're just dominating with the NFT space. All right, what else is there? VeChain, big news. Their NFTs. VeChain's trying to get into business side of NFTs. They have announced this Republic of San Marino has just approved their digital COVID certificate utilizing NFTs. Think about it. To track COVID, right? Or COVID certificates utilizing NFTs on top of VeChain Thor blockchain. So that's also very positive. It shows you that NFTs are not just silly things. It's not just for collectibles or anything like that. It could be used for serious things, such as tracking COVID and certificates and other kind of certificates or authenticity, and really anything. NFT goes way beyond than just selling pieces of art and digital models and stuff like that. Yeah, that's really it in terms of what I want to cover. Overall crypto, I forgot. Let's look at my crypto portfolio here. It's still 54.23, so about where it was a day or two ago. Last night it climbed to about 5,700, now down to 5,400, but I did dollar cost average. I added $100, so it's really about 5,300 if you negate that. So we still pretty good. I bought in when Bitcoin was like at 31,000, 32,000, at $5,000, still up about $300. So overall, still doing pretty good. This is the name of the game for dollar cost average, okay? Really, you just ignore volatility. So with this, I'm showing an example every Wednesday, and I'll put in $100, and by the end of the year, we'll see what happens. But this is a prime example of dollar cost average, right? Just because today is a bad day or today is a good day doesn't mean that you all of a sudden FOMO in or you panic sell. No, you're holding for long term, you're investing for your future, right? And you slowly take it 1 week or 2 weeks or a month at a time by simply dollar cost averaging. And I've shown you guys the tremendous gains that you can make simply by dollar cost averaging over a course of a year, 3 years, 5 years, which really isn't that long. I mean, you could be making millions just by doing that. I mean, it seems like you can't. It seems like you can't do that, right? Like that can't be possible. Well, it is. It is. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's go to, before I get in Q&A, I do have a new channel sponsor, and this is for you guys that really appreciate some some human touch, some hand holding, let's say. So my new sponsor is Caleb Brown, a brokerage firm out of Australia. Yes, the down under, but they really serve clients from worldwide. And how they're different is you get someone to talk to. So if you are someone that's technically challenged, or you do want some help because you are a whale, or you want some help because you simply don't have the technical skills to, say, invest in certain crypto that is not available in your area. For example, a lot of you guys are in UK or Ontario. You're like, what exchange do I go to? Because everything is getting banned, right? That's a big thing. Or you have trusts or LLCs or business entities that is investing and you don't know how to deal with that, right? Or maybe you're interested in OTC market that normally us retail folks cannot get access to. These are the things that Caleb Brown can help you with. So if you're looking for that personal touch, you want to actually talk to someone on the phone rather than deal everything through support tickets or like an online page. You know what? Check out Caleb and Brown. They can do it all for you, and all the things I mentioned. In terms of getting crypto that maybe you don't know how to get or you can't get where you're living, right? You have a business, you have a trust, you have a will or something that you need to work on. They can help you with it. Also, if you want to buy large positions, you are a whale, you want to put in $10 million into, I don't know, Polygon or Theta, or you want to sell $10 million with a Polygon or Theta or Cardano or Ethereum or whatever, right? They can help you with it. So check them out, Caleb and Brown. Their URL is in the description of this video. All right, let's get started. Let's do some Q&A. CB, you're right. I'm in derivatives that was banned from UK. And they can help with that too, I'm pretty sure. All right, let me scroll up, make sure that I didn't miss anything. Andres says, I'm not even going to answer that because I don't even know anything that what you're asking. I don't know who that is. All right, we'll scroll down. What else is there? SpaceX will have 100,000 satellites in orbit. Okay. I guess. If Starlink is pretty interesting, I will say that. Starlink to cover the globe with satellites to provide internet, that's pretty cool. I do think that's pretty cool. Please give your opinion on upcoming fork of ETH Pulse Chain. It has nothing to do with Pulse Chain. Are you just making that up? The fork of ETH is London, and it has nothing to do with Pulse Chain. As far as I know. It's more focused on EIP 1559, which is, redoing the gas fees and making ETH deflationary, which would be really, really cool. Really cool. BNB versus ETH. No, you don't need to. You don't need to make comparisons like that. You just buy both. You buy both. I mean, they're both really, really good. The question no one is asking is, walk outside at George Con. I'm telling you, George Con is planning a conference, especially during this year, is incredibly, incredibly hard. So I'm going to be honest, the next week or two is going to be a make or break it for this conference. Because I've shared with you guys yesterday, there's just a lot of projects that do not want to participate because of COVID lockdowns, restrictions, travel restrictions, quarantine that you have to go through and stuff like that. Just a lot of projects do not want to participate. So I don't want to have a conference where there's like no projects, right? So I have to make some tough decisions over the next 2 weeks or so. But hopefully it goes well. There's a lot of projects I'm talking to that are on the sidelines. Some have committed, but not as much as I thought because of what's happening. Zilliqa by the end of bull market. Not a lot of people ask me that. Zilliqa actually formed a new high earlier this year. I mean, they could do well. They're at $1 billion, which is, relatively small. Honestly, anything under $1 billion is considered a small cap. I know that sounds silly, but in crypto, that's just how it is. They could be 10 times higher by the end of this bull cycle. I think a lot of things could be 10 times higher, but they're one that, withstood crypto winter, continue to develop, and they're doing pretty well. Legit, appreciate that. Detector asked, thoughts on Helium Network. I like Helium. Helium is one project no one talks about because it's so different. It's very different than everything else. It's not a very sexy project, but look at it. They're still hanging in the top 100, 1.1 billion. And pretty much they're trying to build out a low mesh internet network everywhere around cities. And they're doing very well in the US and in Europe. And, you just get a little miner that's antenna, and that's all you have to do. You're just serving internet. But I hear it's very, very hard to get those antennas right now. But I do like them. Holochain, Holochain is doing very, very well. They have their decentralized storage, like a hosted storage. They're also a DAG. They have their ledger. But I saw last time I checked, they were still working on their new ledger. They were doing something with it. I guess they thought their old one was not efficient, so they decided to redo it. I have Akashi. I have Solana bag on an Indian exchange, which does not allow withdrawal. I'm running a loss. Should I sell it? I use the cash to buy back Solana at the same price on Binance so I could stake it. Is the whole exchange shut down from withdrawal or just Solana? Because if it's just Solana, then you can just, exchange it for Bitcoin or something else and withdrawal. But if everything is, if you can't withdraw at all, then that kind of sucks. But if you can sell it, then just withdraw with some other currency, get into another exchange, and rebuy back Solana. That's okay, as long as you get out of that exchange. What do you think about AMP? I like AMP. I like it when people ask me about a project when it's not pumping. Because that shows you, right, that people are really interested in something for what it is, not just because it's pumping. So it was unfortunate that, I've covered AMP, for several months. I think I covered them somewhere around here, February, March, right? It's a collateral token to be used in Flexa, invested by Gemini, and they're basically used for retail stores. Like if you want to pay at a retail store, you could do so. AMP is the collateral token for it. It's an interesting project, interesting use case too, right? And I like them, but unfortunately, when they got, not unfortunately, but when they got added on Coinbase, they pumped up to the moon, right? And unfortunately, during this time, it's like everyone's asking about AMP, right? And I'm like, okay, it's good, but chill, because anything that goes up this much always comes down. So now we have kind of settled, but still much higher than before. So I'm glad to see it. But AMP is going to do well. I think so. And the fact that they're on all the major exchanges definitely helps them too. Status. I don't think they're a low cap gem. They kind of just lost their status. That's the reason why. Nervos Network. I'm not big on them. And they've been around for a while. They have this partnership with Cardano with their bridge, but I don't think it's going to help them that much. What's EDG? Edgeware or Edgeless? I think you're probably asking about Edgeless. Edgeless is like a casino. It's a casino where the house has no edge. So that's why it's called Edgeless. I don't know if they're going to do well. Seller is just layer 2. I think they're okay. They're okay, but they... there's a lot of layer 2s, and they're not one of the ones that most people focus on. Another George asked me, DCA into ETH or BDC? You're already holding BDC. Should I put some to ETH as a part of 50%? Well, it's 50, 25, 25, right? And your 25% big caps, there's a lot of options. So if you don't have any ETH in your big cap and you feel like you should, why not? Recently, ETH has been pumping up pretty well. So if you don't have any ETH, then sure. But if you don't have 50% Bitcoin, then maybe you think about that first. Do you think VET will get a Coinbase listing this year? I hope so, but maybe they don't. I don't know. I bet if you look at the number of coins listed on Coinbase versus if you look at the percentage of US-based crypto versus like Asian crypto, right? I bet like predominantly it's the US-based one. So I don't know if VET is going to get added for that reason. We'll see. We'll see. I really hope they do. But VET is on Voyager, which you could get, KuCoin, Binance.us. So there are plenty of options. There's plenty of places that you can get VET. I invested 1,000 GSX pre-exchange listing. Now it's down 50%. Do you think? I don't know too much about that. Is that the one that's backed by gold or something? Yeah, I don't like any crypto that's like backed by gold. Just doesn't make any sense. Edgeware. Smart contracts and Polkadot. Yeah, relatively small. This volume concerns me. Under 1 million volume for 84 million market cap coin. That's a little off. It should not be like that. Smart contract chain was smart with a community managed treasury. Okay, so it's like a DAO. It is a DAO. I don't know why you would pick this over, let's say, just Polkadot itself. Yeah, it's just more like a DAO. Like, you know, if you want funding or something, they're going to help you do it. But not for me. Not for me. Can we add a micro to 5K portfolio and see if it home run? I did. I put BPRO in there. So if BPRO does come up significantly, it will affect the portfolio. But maybe later on, yeah. When I do these $100 DCAs, I may add a few more micro caps in there. Darius, thank you for that. Could you look into Kudos? What is this? Yeah, it's really small volume. What is this? Decentralized cloud computing for everyone. By using the world's available computing to power more decentralized. Okay. What does that mean? So they're a cloud computing or decentralized cloud computing play. There's a few that's in this area. Kosh is another one. There's one other one. That IREZEC or something like that. I forgot what the name was, but there's a few in there. I think decentralized computing cloud is too early, in my opinion. So they could take over eventually, but right now there's no businesses that's getting off of AWS or Azure to go into decentralized cloud computing platforms. It's just too risky for them. BlockNet, that's a very old project, man. That was one of the very first projects I covered because they were doing like a DEX and they were doing some kind of interoperability with Ethereum. I have not covered them at all. They're being used by Avalanche. I think Avalanche is in real trouble. But yeah, I remember them early on. Very, very, very early on. So they're still doing interoperability. So yeah, they were one of the first to talk about a bridge to Ethereum. And they're pretty much dead. 3,000 volume, they're pretty much dead. Do you think German funds will be BDC-centric in their investments? Yes. I think just like what I've been saying, 50, 25, 25, I think most VCs, investment funds, they're probably going to do the same. They're going to put predominantly most of their funds into Bitcoin because it's the safest, risk off asset, as everyone likes to call it. And then you go invest in the future, like DeFi, right? I think you can't ignore DeFi at this point. If you're going to be involved with crypto, you have to be involved with Bitcoin and DeFi. And DeFi, there's many aspects to it. You could do DEXs, or you could do the underlying chains that are powering the DeFi projects, right? So I think that's how it's going to be. I mean, it just makes sense. If you're in control of like $1 billion, right, and you need to invest in crypto, sure, you could put $1 billion into Bitcoin, which many have. But wouldn't you rather, put 50% of that in Bitcoin, and let's say 50% of that into these new DeFi stuff, right? And potentially have them grow this 100x or 1000x that people are looking for. It's a real thing. Dylan, why don't you ask Rand that? I don't know anything about Donking Finance. I just know that I think it crashed hard. That's the only thing I heard of. This is the reason why whenever I go on Rand's show and he talks about some like crazy 1000x or millionx coin, I'm like, chill. We have seen these before, okay? A lot of them gets very hyped up and they don't live up to the hype, and then they just crash down. So, there's supposed to be a parachain? Okay, maybe. Thoughts on SafeMoon's? Why would you ask me that about SafeMoon's progress? You guys know. You should know. I'm not a meme coin chaser. I don't jump around all the latest meme coins. So I have no idea what's going on with SafeMoon, other than Dave Portnoy's invested. I don't even know if he's invested in it. He sells things so fast I can't even keep up. Michael, I appreciate that. Blank Wallet. Someone asked me about Blank Wallet recently. I think Blank Wallet it's like a utility that you may want to use, but as an investment, no. And what is it? It's interesting. So if you want to hide your transactions, you can send it to Blank Wallet and have Blank Wallet send it out. So it like jumbles up your transactions with other people's transactions, so it can't be traced. So as a utility, like as a utility play, I guess it makes sense. But do I ever think this is going to get huge? No. So there you go. Smash up the like. Corey says, I swear I'm not. Vet Maxi is my favorite coin. I have high hopes for it. Thank you. You swear you're not what? You're what? Thoughts on Shiba Swap ecosystem could be very lucrative. I think the best... I don't know. Shiba, I still can't comment on Shiba. I don't like how it started. I don't like the way it is, but I got to recognize that there is a loyal fan base to Shiba. But the fact that there's so many other memes that spawned after Shiba has taken Shiba's own, investors away, right? So can they ever reclaim their previous high? I don't know. But at least I guess they're trying to do something. Shiba Swap is something new, so I guess they're trying to do something to differentiate themselves away from Doge. But even look at Doge now. Even Elon is having a hard time pumping it. But with that said, I still think Doge is here to stay. Thoughts on Telcoin and their V3 launch? Sounds like they're going to be on exchange. Yes, I covered that last night. I think Telcoin's interesting. Their V3 adds in some new DEX that allows users to trade Tel. So kind of interesting. I think Telcoin, with their remittance and their bank, could do very well. Ecomi, overhyped, big potential. I think big potential, but it's not overhyped now that it's down like 80 or 90% from its highs. So I think actually this is a pretty good entry point. A lot of us invested in Electronum since the beginning, but we're slowly using hope or losing hope. You saying? I like Electronum. I like how they're trying to, help the unbanked. This relates to a lot to what we're hearing about recently. Their app is all about helping unbanked, and their AnyTask microgigs job site is actually a really good idea. Except they were like marketing it in the U.S. and it makes no sense because that's too hard. They should be really marketing that towards the countries that would actually really need it. So I like it, but I don't like how a lot of people reached out to Electronum team and said, hey, George talked about you guys, wants to, interview you. This was back when I was trying to interview people. And then the team were like, oh, no, we can never go on George's show because he hypes up projects and then it causes coins to pump and we don't want to be associated with that. I'm like, okay, you guys just lost your chance. At the time, I was just interviewing, a lot of projects just to spread awareness, but they're like, oh, no, we can't be associated with that. So I'm like, okay, you lost your chance. But overall, I think going catering to non-bank, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good idea. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm going to let you guys go. All right, overall, today's theme is more good news. Now we have 4,000 investment funds from Germany with 1.83 trillion euros under management, and up to 20% of that could be used for Bitcoin and crypto. So just think about it. It's a new law that went in place. They can now invest up to 350 billion euros into crypto. And trust me, they will be. They will be. They're not all go jump in. They're not all go jump on the spot market. But trust me, behind the scenes, they're going to start investing just like everyone else because no one wants to miss this revolution. It's like the internet all over again, except all decentralized, right? No one wants to miss the DeFi revolution or the Bitcoin revolution. They're all going to come in. So be patient. Be patient. Invest and focus on the future and do not get out of this game because if you do, you go slap yourself real hard in the future. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, yesterday. Okay, I got to say my joke, okay? Because yesterday I hyped up the best joke on earth and then the only one I know last night, and I forgot to say it, so I'm going to say it today. All right, get ready. And don't hate me for this joke. Why do I never talk about Monero? Because it's a privacy coin, and every exchange is going to list privacy coins. All right, here we go. So you have 3 individuals that wanted to become FBI agents. All right, so they apply. They get told, "Hey, we're throwing this party. Why don't you come? We'll do our interviews there, and then bring your spouse with you." All right, so the 3 guys are like, "Okay, let's do this." So they all attend. As soon as they get in there, they're like, "Hey, welcome." They separate them with their spouses, and then they're like, okay, let's do an interview one at a time. So they invite the first person into the room. They talk to them and say, the usual spiel, but saying that ultimately we need to know we have your trust, right? The guy's like, yeah, you have my trust. And then the agent puts down his gun and says, okay, if we have your complete trust, take this gun, go into that other room right there next to this one. Your spouse is there, so go ahead and shoot her with this gun. And he's like, what? The agent's like, you heard me. Go do it. And the guy's like, no, you're crazy. She's my best friend. And then he just walks off. They do this with a second person. Second person's like, no, what are you talking about? Is this what the FBI is about? And he leaves. And then they bring in a third person. And the third person's like, I've been married for 30 years, okay? I'll be glad to do it. He picks up the gun, storms into the other room. You hear a lot of screaming. You hear gunshots. And then afterwards, you hear fighting, pounding and more screaming and so forth. Afterwards, the guy comes out back in the room. He's all bloodied everywhere with the gun. And the agent is just shocked, staring at him, saying, what the hell happened in there? And he's like, You gave me a gun with blanks, so I had to beat her to death. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.